that she was safe. And so, all kidding aside, the 76ers finally did their part, and they crushed the Raptors 70-36 in the second half en route to closing out the series against the Raptors. So, after being up 3-0, and the Sixers ended up winning the series in 6 games. Before last night's win, there was a lot of talk about whether or not they would blow their lead. But ultimately, Joel Embiid happened, and the Sixers got it done. Starting with you, Ramona, Miss 76ers, do you think that they answered their critics?
For one night. Okay, for one half maybe, even the second half, where they looked amazing. And when you see them play like that, you go, okay, well, they could win it all if they play like that. But they also got to a game 6 in a series. They were up 3-0 and were on the ropes there. Now, the question is, do you see that James Harden, that aggressive James Harden? He had that step back working. He looked lively out there in the second half. Do we see that? Or do the Miami Heat put a lot of pressure on him? They throw a lot of looks at him. Do they shut down Tyrese Maxey? Like, Maxey had a good game last night. In the games where the Sixers won, Joel Embiid has been a fairly constant presence. Like, he had a little setback after his thumb injury, but it was the other guys. When Tobias Harris gets it going, when it was Tyrese Maxey, James Harden, when they get it going, the Sixers look like they can beat anybody. But let's just go back in history. They haven't gotten to the conference finals since 2001. 2001. The critics can keep talking until they get there.
Zach, what do you think?
Hey, look, getting to the conference finals is hard. It's not easy, and they're 1-4 bouncer from maybe getting there. But, yeah, they proved something to me, because when Doc Rivers gave that press conference about blowing 3-1 leads, the anxiety was seeping through the screen, and it scared me. And Toronto is not an easy place to play. That's a big, pressurized environment. You do not want to go to Game 7 in front of those Philly fans with that kind of anxiety hovering over your head. And they went and they laid the smack down. Look, Joel Embiid, I trust him. I don't worry about him in big games. Tobias Harris and Danny Green were sneakily rocks for that team all series long, playing well. And Ramona's right. When James Harden plays like... James Harden dunked last night.
Yes.
He dunked. When he has a burst like that, when he gets by people, the Sixers are a different team. And look, we can sit here and fret about Harden. Some games has a burst, some games doesn't. The numbers say it. The eye test say it. The Embiid-Harden pick and roll is completely unstoppable, even when James Harden looks a little slow, looks a little bit like he doesn't have a burst. Teams have not had an answer for that. And I kind of like this Miami matchup for them a little bit more than the Toronto matchup. I think they have a good chance, a much better chance than people are giving them credit for, to win this series.
Monica, do you think so?
I don't know how you're evaluating their chance, Zach. I think it's going to be a compelling series. I do think Miami advances in this one. But I will say, to your point, James Harden and Joel Embiid, that combo is dangerous when they're on. And I'm not 100% sure about the consistency with which James Harden plays. And then just to flip that switch and play devil's advocate, the Miami Heat, to me, look like they are finding their identity offensively. We know during the regular season they were subject to lulls offensively while the defense never wavered. Do I necessarily expect another 45-point performance from Jimmy Butler? No, but I'm not ruling that out either in terms of the confidence that they're playing with offensively. So now, beyond Matisse Thybulle, who hangs his hat on the defensive end, and Joel Embiid protecting the paint, everybody else has to step up on the defensive end for the Philadelphia 76ers as well. But I agree, it's going to be a great matchup. I think the games in which the Sixers have looked best, when you go down the 6 games that it took, have been outliers. And so I'm just not sold in terms of the consistency that's going to show up in this next series, where to me, Miami's been consistent.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.